up for your right.
Subscribe to my YouTube channel at AndQ Breaks for notifications and updates. Also follow me on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram, all at AndQ Breaks. This is Saving the Niger Delta with AndQ Breaks. We have 2 days to count down to Valentine. It was when I came into the studio that I realized, since I won't see you again before Valentine or on Valentine's Day, I should have worn a red top. So pretend that I'm wearing a red top. Happy Valentine's Day in advance. Alright, this morning I want us to kick off. I want to refer you to a section in the Bible. It is Romans 8 verse 28. It says, "And we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love him, who have been called according to his purpose." Now, since I'm a believer and most of us are Christians, I think that this Bible verse has become for me very apt in the times that we find ourselves, because fear have taken hold in the way that Christians react to what is happening to Christians in Nigeria and the persecution of Christians in Nigeria. We have to be able to encourage ourselves in the things that we believe in, because these things help us to move forward and to carry on. The focal emphasis today all over the world is about indigenous peoples all over the world, the rights of indigenous people, because there are indigenous people all over the world. Wherever anybody is found, whether he's an Israeli, whether he's a Palestinian, whether he's a Libyan, whether he's an Ikwere man, an Ijaw man, Isoko man, that is your identity, whether you're a Christian, a Muslim, a Buddha, believer, whatever you are. These two components, these two things about our lives, about our humanity, is what is highly recognized today by the United Nations in their human rights, in the things they support about human rights and the bills of rights. The fact that you are identified by your tribe, by your country, by your ethnicity, all those type of things are rights, and they are protected. Right to worship, they are rights and they are protected. So it is very, very important that we become fearless in the way that we look at what is happening in Nigeria. And for you to become fearless as a Christian, you have to be able to go to the Word of God and sustain your courage and take your fearlessness from the promises that God has made. To be fearless because you are a Christian. The fact that you're a Christian, you should be fearless about the fact that you're a Christian. If you believe that God has created you and has created you for a purpose, that is the calling. Whatever that purpose he has created you for, that is the calling. And so that you don't have to be a pastor, a reverend father, a nun before you would have been called by God. Just the mere fact that you're alive, in my opinion, and from my understanding and belief, is that you have been called, because you didn't create yourself, God created you. So going to what is happening in Nigeria today, it is highly foolish and cowardly, and takes away the position Christians take. If we say that we are Christians and we say that we believe in the living God, then we have to be able to be fearless in the things about who we are, in the things that we believe in the things that we do that is Christian-like, that is Christ-like. Now, so I want to encourage everybody, because I receive a lot of calls, and most of these calls have made me to come to the conclusion that a lot of people, a very high percentage of Christians and a very high percentage of Southerners, Southern Nigerians, Southeast, Southwest, and South, and Niger Delta, Rivers State, and all the states that make up the South and the Niger Delta region and all the other regions, believe and know that certain things happening in Nigeria today are wrong. They are not acceptable. They are an injustice that is perpetrated against us. Whether it is things to do with how many people, if NNPC or Ministry of Petroleum today, if the resources is coming from the Niger Delta region, and the oil producing states are the ones that are sustaining this country, and oil and gas is not the only natural resources in Nigeria. We have solid minerals in Nigeria. It is unacceptable and a grave injustice against you and I, on whose land this oil and gas is found, first of all, to pay the heavy price that we have paid since 1958 of the devastation of our land, our waters, and our farm. All our livelihood is taken away from us. And for what? What do we get in return? We get absolutely nothing in return. Anybody whose first consideration is the deceit that 13% is actually acceptable is accepting this injustice. This 13% that led us through the point where we wanted 50%, we wanted resource control, we started talking about restructuring, we're talking about ownership, we're talking about so many things, and everything we have discussed and everything we think is fair and believe is fair has been turned down. And so we are made to look like fools, one, we're made to look like cowards, two, and we're made to look like people who just repeat themselves day after day, hour after hour, week after week, month after month, year after year, saying the same thing over and over again. And why is that? That is because we're not serious. And why are we not serious? We're not serious because we are afraid. And why are we afraid? We are afraid because we believe that as long as we are breathing, that it comes to a point where that in itself is acceptable. Yes, everybody has a right to life. That's why God created us. If God didn't create us for life, some people won't live to be 110. If God did not create us to be alive, God created us to be alive, not to be killed. God put us in a place, not so that the next person will come and take it away from us. Nobody lives in the air. Nobody lives in the sky. Every person, the people that the president is calling to come from all over Africa to come to Nigeria without visa, and the people that that they are claiming that because we have Fulanis in Nigeria, therefore every other Fulani across Africa has a right to be in Nigeria. It's just something that is being pushed, that we are afraid to say no to. Why should we be afraid to say no to this type of oppression that is being pushed into Nigeria? So we for the past a week or so, we have seen some information going around the internet and stuff like that, where the title is saying 86% of new NNPC top management appointments are Northerners are holding those positions. 86% of new NNPC top managers are Northerners. And I am looking at a site called www.gistmania.com. Now, I am believing that these facts are true. But if they are not true, they are on the internet, then the government should hold them accountable. But if the federal government and NNPC does not hold them accountable, even though some of these information seem to be old information going by the day, they are areas of concern. And if they are areas of concern, we cannot push them aside. We have to discuss them. And the most important one that has come up is the fact that the president's daughter, who seemed to have just left university, has been given an appointment. And this is coming from a place called #send a signal. Now, this is a young lady that is the daughter of the president, and she graduated and has a master's degree. She graduated in 2018, and she is now employed in NNPC as a director. This is true. It is unfair, it is unjust, and it is unacceptable. But if it is not true, then she herself has a right to debunk it. She herself has a right to debunk it, because the mere fact that she is the daughter of the president does not qualify her to be appointed or given that post, because that would be the only way that she can graduate into 2018 and become a director in NNPC.